All right, you are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. They finished in last place once again because they suck. The Washington Commanders just straight up suck. Ain't that stuff killing? Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Going to try to shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Go about 30 minutes here tonight. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box. Yeah, give me 5 or 10 minutes. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live, or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, whatever you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And hold on. Time out on the field. Got to move the chair for my buddy Manny here. Hold on. Up. Watch out, buddy. Watch out. Okay. All right, Randy's here. Okay. We can continue. The freaking nut. As soon as I start talking, he said, it's when he comes over. Unbelievable. My good boy. Can't do a video without him. And finally, also a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. Then the one just underneath it. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. It's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, when I'm long gone, it's Twitter. I'm one of those old-time farts. I hate change. Get off my lawn! One of those old-time farts, right? To me, it's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. That's a promise. I try to put Giants-related information in my Twitter account every day. And then finally, also, the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group, which is doing simply marvelous, might I add. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 7,700 members in the group. It's, once again, as I said, it's doing simply marvelous. Basically, if I'm alive and if I'm breathing and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton, there's a boatload, there's an awful lot of information on New York Giants information every day going in this group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, well, looks like Eli prevailed once again. It's whatever you want to call it, the Pro Bowl, the flag football ball, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's obviously there's the other events, and everything, and a lot of it has changed, obviously a lot, because back in the day there used to be tackling and hitting and blocking and all kinds of stuff like that going on. And obviously it's changed a little bit. I understand. I guess once again I'm an old time fart, so I like I would much prefer rather to see a game. But I said I can see the guys not wanting to get injured. The guys 40, 50 years ago played football. They played it for the love of the game. Right, so it is what it is. But in this article I'm going to read, there's a lot of people there. As long as they, with the fans being there and the best of the best being, except for the teams that are in the Super Bowl, but with the game and everything they got going on, it seemed like it was a very it was a good time. And basically it's there for the fans. The players obviously, as I think it was right in this article. I think it was 88,000 went to the winners and 44,000 went to the losers. But you can see that the NFC East, when they made that goal line stand. Basically that was pretty much it. Was it 4 seconds to go or whatever it was? Something like that. It was fourth down, goal, right? You can complete it, you score a touchdown, you win. If you don't, you lose. So it was all in the one play, right? You can't get asked for any more than that. But the NFC hung on, and once again, Eli beat brother Pete once again. So that makes it even better. Where the heck's his article at? There was a bunch of them, obviously. But the NFC earned second straight Pro Bowl game win over the AFC. Good old Baker Mayfield. He was still reeling from losing in the NFC divisional round 2 weeks ago, but initially he had mixed feelings about appearing in the Pro Bowl games. Baker said, "To be honest with you, I didn't know how to feel about it until I got on the bus and saw everybody on there." You're pretty much except for the 49ers and the Chiefs, you got the best, for the most part, the best of the best. So he said he went on the bus, saw everybody on there, and just seeing their faces and all the national names and all that, it really is an honor. And over the course of 4 days, Mayfield seemed to embrace the event quite well, with a strong showing in Thursday's precision passing competition, and on Sunday winning the Offensive MVP award following the NFC's victory over the AFC. Mayfield completed 9 of 13 for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns in the flag football affair before over 55,000 at Orlando's Camping World Stadium. So, hey, I don't think it was a sellout, but you got almost 56,000 people there. Hey, cool. That's great. That's really good. The NFC won with a cumulative score of 64-59, stopping the AFC's fourth down play at the 3-yard line with 4 seconds remaining. So it was all something of a accumulation of Mayfield's comeback season, with the former number 1 overall pick resurrecting his career with the Buccaneers after changing teams 3 times in the past 2 seasons. Now, a lot, it says a lot about him, because you're like the number 1 pick, you're flying high and this, that, and the other thing and all of a sudden it's like, you're on 3 different teams in 2 years. It's kind of like, it can be a little demoralizing, but hey, he handled it, manhandled it very well. Got to give the Bucs their props this year. Now they kick the crap out of the Eagles. Yeah. Boom. Not only they kicked the crap out of the Eagles, but hey, they had a nice season. Wasn't super spectacular. They weren't 15-2 or nothing like that. It was a rather mediocre division they were in, but they won it. They went to the playoffs. They got the first round. They won. So hey, good for them. They didn't have the greatest team in the world, but they played well. I'm saying you got to give Baker some props. As I said, the number 1 pick, and then all of a sudden, as he's like being passed around like a hot potato, who I don't want him, you want him, it could be very demoralizing, but he seems to be handling it really well, and he had a great season this year. Right, really had a very good season. So good for him. Let's see, the Pro Bowl games now in the second year of the flag football format. Obviously, with this flag football, obviously, once again, I'm an old time fart, so I much prefer the where they actually tackled and all. But once again, I can see where guys don't want to, get injured, and it's once as I said. So please forgive me. I'm an old fart, as you can tell, as I've said 300 times right in this video. The more it's about the money, the less I like it. You know what I mean? It just takes it, and I guess I understand. So it's every day that goes by, it's more and more and more about the money. Obviously the guys back in the day, they wanted to make money as well too, but there just wasn't money wasn't being really dished out. But back then, now these guys are competitors. I'm certainly not saying any of these guys are not competitors. I mean, they competed, absolutely. But I mean, back then it was, they played. Some of these guys, you'd swear back sometimes in the day. I mean, I'm going back 50 years ago, whatever, over 50 years ago. Some of these guys would just basically play for nothing. They just love playing the game. Right now, it's all, once again, 90% of it's about the money. Or what? Yeah, I mean, this, obviously they love playing the game, and I get it. But, and I know the guys that, once again, as I said, back in the day, didn't want to get injured either. But it was a Pro Bowl. It was an honor. They went and they played the game. They tackled, they blocked, they this, they that, blah, 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 all that stuff and everything. They put their bodies on the line, right, for probably not much at all. And I said, once again, with all the money at stake nowadays, I can certainly understand it. A guy goes out there and gets injured or something, especially if he's a free agent. I mean, you're out there and you maybe like a Saquon, right? If he goes out there and he's looking for a nice payday or something, or one of these free agent wide receivers or an edge rusher or somebody like that on the open market, like, this is my big year to cash in, baby. 3-4 years, maybe $100 million. I'm good to go after that. Here we go, but and he goes in the Pro Bowl and winds up tearing his ACL or something. Or, not cool. But I do like this much better than what they had a couple of years ago. Basically, they dropped back the pass and everybody would run in and they would kind of like patty cake each other, and maybe they would just touch the quarterback or something and it was down, or the guy would catch the ball and they would kind of like it really wasn't tackling. It was more like I don't know what the hell you want to call it, because it wasn't football. It was more like a joke. But at least now, I like this with the flag football. The guys are going full speed and, and all that stuff, and they're trying, So I like this format much better than I did whatever they called that 3-4 years ago. I mean, whatever that crap was, that wasn't even close to football. I like this a lot better. I do like this a lot better. And you can see at the end of the game, they were, and well, a lot of these guys are obviously, hey, if you're going to make an extra 44,000, right? The winners make 88, the losers make 44. An extra 44,000. Hey, anybody's going to jump up and down for that. But you can also tell these guys are competitors, right? And they ain't going there to lose. Let me tell you what, they're going there. As I said, hey, an extra 44 grand. I'd rather win 88 than 44 any day of the week, of course. But it's also, hey, we want the dub, right? So you can tell. You can tell. I mean, the way they were jumping up and down and everything like that, that was pretty good. And once again, it was cool because the NFC won, so I like that. Let's see, the Pro Bowl, obviously, once again, was seen as a success. Just like last year, what began as a not so serious competition grew increasingly competitive over the course of the day. Yep. I mean, especially when it's coming down to it's like the last play. I mean, really. I mean, it's like, holy cow. You complete the pass, you win. You don't complete the pass, you lose. Right? I mean, from the flag football to the skills competitions, points are accumulated throughout all events and calculated toward a total score. And that I love. Absolutely love that. It's just not the flag football game. It's just not, let's have some competitions and stuff, and that's all cool and everything like that. But okay, let's start the flag football game and it's 0-0. Now let's get the cumulus going. I like that. And also I like too is I don't know if they still do it or not, because I don't really follow baseball too much anymore. But how they with the All-Star game, what they were doing, as I said, I'm not sure if so please forgive me. they weren't doing, but it was like whoever won the All-Star game, they hosted the World Series. I mean, hey, right? Got something on the line here. I wish they would kind of do that with the Super Bowl. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But, they obviously in baseball, it's always been, you got so many games at this team's home and so many games at that, so somebody's got to be home, somebody's got, but here with the Super Bowl, because it's just one game, if it was the Super Bowl, it was like the best of three, just say something like that. Then you can have like a home and, two games played at the one team's home and one game, or whatever. Right. But, it's not it's just one game. It is what it is. I mean, pretty cool if it was like best of three or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, but like with the it had a lot on the line. If you won, you're the American League or the National League, whoever want to win, had the home field advantage for the World Series. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. It was all something of accumulation of Mayfield's comeback season with the former number one overall pick, resurrecting his career with the Bucs after changing teams 3 times in the past 2 seasons. Mayfield led Tampa Bay to an unlikely NFC South title and set career highs in passing yards with 4,044 and touchdown passes with 28. I mean, very, very good season. My goodness. I said Mayfield completed 9 of 13 passes for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right. Obviously, the NFC with the cumulative score of 64-59, stopping the AFC's 4th down play at the 3-yard line with 4 seconds left. I mean, very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. It's a flag game, but man, it's a bunch of competitors out there competing, said New Orleans Saints linebacker Demario Davis. That guy's what a beast that guy is. He was the defensive MVP. The flag format has been mocked in some corners, but the event has arguably been more competitive because playing flag football drastically reduces the chances of injury, which is good, which is huge. Which a lot of these guys, the guys want to go out there and compete and play and have fun and all that, but they don't want to get injured. And, one injury in a Pro Bowl game could cost somebody millions and millions of dollars. So they drastically reduces the chance of injury compared with the tackle football version that was played until 2022. Well, if you want to call, 2020, 2021, 29, whatever it was. I mean, if you want to call that tackle football, okay, that's on you. I'm not really calling that tackle football. Anyone who questioned whether winning mattered should have heard Davis recount the defensive adjustments by his team to slow the AFC's high-powered passing attack. So he was making adjustments and all that and everything. Yeah. C.J. Stroud, I mean, he had a great 173 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. He was 18 of 22. Keenan Allen from the Chargers caught 3 touchdown passes, and he threw for a 4th. So he had a heck of a game. Chicago Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson, however, defended Stroud's 4th down attempt to Allen to seal the victory. Yeah, it was that would have been a tough pass to catch. He kind of threw it. It was kind of like out of the reach of Allen. So, but it says with the $88,000 going to each member of the winning team, the losers had to settle for $44,000. The NFC players erupted in celebration as the final pass fell incomplete, an event that the NFL once considered eliminating because of lack of effort, which there really was, seems here to stay as players continue to embrace its new, its new theme, shall we say, right? At first, it was all laughter and games, Cleveland Browns tight end David Njoku said. But when it got real, it got really real, and it stayed real until the end. And that's what you want. I mean, this is certainly, this was a question what would be a success. If it comes down to flag football, it is. But I said I like this a lot better than what they had the couple years before that, where it was like I don't even know if anybody even got tackled. Like guys would catch the ball and somebody go and touch them, and it was like blown dead, like right there and all. It's like kind of like, okay. But I mean, this seemed to be successful. I mean, heck, you had as I said, almost like 56,000 people in the stands. And, and a lot of it's also about the fans just being there and being able to see their heroes. The guys that made this, once again, as pretty much always, this NFL season a success. The best, except for whoever's on the 49ers and the Chiefs, right? Yeah, like the best of the best, for the most part. Yeah, we're out there. I mean, whether I don't know whether had people were able to go and sign autographs or meet the people, whatever like that. That I don't know. But I mean, with the competition, the skills competitions they had going on. I mean, these guys competitors. They're just not out there just dancing around. So I mean, they're competing. These guys want to win. I mean, that's why it makes the NFL as great as it is. You got a bunch of guys out there that these athletes are absolutely freaking just incredible. Absolute incredible athletes, and they're competitors, and they want to win. Whether it's chess, checkers, jumping rope, flag football, whatever, they want to win. So hopefully they can keep this up and come up with some new ideas from here and add to it. But I mean, this does seem like a success. As I said, I like this a lot better than that. The kind of football they had kind of going on before that. And as I said, once again, I understand. One injury could possibly wipe out, somebody millions and millions of, I mean, you look at it also if somebody, in February, right, tears his ACL, just saying, in one of these games, right, he won't be able to start. He won't be ready for the next season. So he's going to have to start losing some paychecks. So, I mean, you lose some paychecks. Some of these guys making $1 million a game. Some guys are making $2 million a game. Some of the quarterbacks are making $3 million a game. Right? Could you imagine a quarterback going out and making one of these guys making $50 million a year? That's basically $3 million a game. They go out and they injure themselves, right? So they got to miss the first month of the season, right? It's $3 million. It's $12 million, just because they decided to play in the Pro Bowl, right? That's a lot of money. So I in a way I can understand, but I've said this actually worked out pretty good. All right. Well, then after that, Giants. Well, tell you what, the Giants have been being blocked like left and right. I mean, wanting to talk to all these, the defensive coordinators, the special teams coordinators, and all that, and rightfully so. Once again, it's if the coordinators are under contract with the team and the team does not have a head coach or whatever, they don't have. They can block, right? They don't have to allow if it's a lateral move, right? I mean, if the Giants want to take, an offensive like assistant quarterback coach or something like that, and interview them for a promotion for the offensive coordinator, well, that's a little bit different. But when the Giants are trying to interview for the Chargers special teams coordinator, the Panthers and all these other teams that kept blocking the Giants, well, that was their right. If the coach is under has a contract with the team, right, they can block them. Most of them probably do, but some don't. All you can do is ask. But the Giants finally did a little bit of blocking on their own, basically because pretty much it was a lateral move. It was, Mike Kafka was just going to be interviewed. Didn't mean he was going to be getting a job or not, but was he being interviewed for a lateral move with the Seahawks? But Giants said no. Now, I think Kafka has 1 year left on his deal. So, I mean, there's a good chance that this might be his final season with the Giants because he won't be under contract. Obviously, after the season's over with, he can go elsewhere. Now, maybe it might be the college level. He might once again get interviewed again for the pro job, pro head coach, right? But there's a good chance this might be his final season with the Giants. But the Giants blocked Mike Kafka from a coordinator interview with the Seahawks. Once again, it was just a lateral move. That's all it was. The New York Giants have reportedly blocked Mike Kafka from interviewing for the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator position A report on Saturday indicated that there's interest from the Seahawks in talking to Kafka about becoming Seattle's offensive coordinator. League rules, though, allow teams to deny assistants permission to interview for lateral moves. The Giants took that opportunity. Kafka, who has interviewed for 6 head coaching vacancies over the past 2 seasons, was a finalist for the Seattle job that went to Mike Macdonald. Macdonald has been a defensive coordinator, though, so his choice of offensive coordinator for the Seahawks will be critical. Head coach Brian Daboll said at the end of the season that his plan was for Kafka to return as offensive coordinator. Daboll, though, said the same thing about the then defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. But as we know, that changed a little bit. Kafka is only one of the 3 2023 Giants coordinators who appeared to be returning. Martindale is gone, and special teams coach Thomas McGahee was also let go. This may indicate that Daboll does not plan to be the offensive play caller in 2024. Well, we will see. Daboll said at the end of the season that he and Kafka would discuss the play calling role. With Daboll's background as a successful offensive coordinator and his seat as head coach starting to get a little bit warm as he enters year 3, there has been speculation that Daboll might decide to take full control of the offense, including play calling. That, though, is still to be determined. If Daboll ran the offense, Kafka would be downgraded to an offensive coordinator without play calling responsibilities. That would do nothing to further his career ambitions of becoming a head coach. Daboll and Kafka worked well together in 2022, helping quarterback Daniel Jones to a career-best season as the Giants reached the playoffs. There were reports of tension between the two in 2023 as the Giants fell to 6-11. Well, I mean, I'm sure there was tension between Daboll and pretty much everybody. He's a passionate coach. He lets it all. He doesn't hold nothing in. If he has any problem at all, he's gonna let it out. If it hurts your feeling, I mean, same thing like with Bill Parcells, right? If things weren't going right, he let it out. If it hurt your feelings, he said. I remember he said that he was. I forgot who he's talking to. Damn, I can't remember if he was the coach of the Jets or he was the coach of the Cowboys. But there was he's got videos with him doing film clips and stuff like that. There's a ton of it. But he was talking to somebody. I said, I can't remember who it was. He was either with the Cowboys or the Jets. It wasn't. I don't think it was the Patriots, and I don't think it was the Giants. But he was talking. He said, "If you get your feelings hurt, son, that's too bad." I said, I can't remember what team it was, but he just lets it out. If you get your feelings hurt, it is what it is. I mean, he also, he got pissed off at his coaches as well, too. Yeah, it is what it is. Things don't go well. Yeah, feelings are going to be hurt, right? If things are going good, things are a little bit better. It doesn't mean, if things were, when the Giants were 14-2. In '86, right? They started 5-2, and then they kept winning. They went from, they went from 5-2, basically, I guess, to 17-2 after they wound up winning the Super Bowl. But I mean, you go along. I'm sure there was times when Parcells exploded. Things ain't going right. He's just going to let it out. Same thing with Daboll, right? The thing is with Daboll is that if his seat starts getting a little warm, a little hot, right? I mean, be interesting to see, if the Giants start losing some games and stuff like that. And, things will, start talking like, Daboll's seat's getting a little warm or whatever. Be interested to see if Daboll actually starts taking over the control of calling the plays because, as I said, I mean, if he's the captain of the Titanic. If that baby hits the iceberg and starts going down, I'm going down calling plays. I'm not going down, losing my job because of let somebody else call plays. If I lose my job, right? Especially, I'm good at calling plays. I'm a good offensive coordinator. Maybe I'm good with quarterbacks. I'm going down. I'm going down with my guns blazing, right? And I'm letting it all. I'm calling the plays. I'm got my hands on the quarterback, and this, that. I mean, I'm taking a lot of control, right? So I'm not sitting there passively on the sideline as the ship goes down while somebody else is calling plays and all that. Not happening. So, be interesting to see if things start going a little south a little sour in the beginning of the season that things change. But once again, you have to wait and see. You don't know. Is Dable calling the plays? Is he going to let Kafka do it? We'll have to wait and see. It would be interesting to know if the Giants do draft a quarterback early, right? And for some, just once again, I'm just suppose here, just supposing. That's all I'm doing. If they draft one number 6, and somehow he winds up, whoever that might wind up being, the guy finds himself in the mix, right? And he starts the new quarterback the Giants drafted. Say once again, just pick 6. Just saying, right? If the quarterback gets in, right, it'd be interesting to see how hands-on Dable is, especially with the quarterback calling the plays and stuff like that. All that, right? Going to be interesting to see. Once again, it's going to be interesting. So I forget, we have like a little over about 5-6 weeks. Free agency starts. It's like, holy crap, dude. Let's not forget, the end of this month, we got the combine, the underwear Olympics or the pajama Olympics or whatever some people call it, that and everything like that. So a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. It's always fun because it's cool because you got, like with the Shrine game, the Senior Bowl and all that. Then obviously you have the people have their own pro days, right? Then you have the combine on. You got these guys shooting up the boards. This guy was a 3rd rounder, man. He might be a top 10 pick now, And some of these guys fall off the board. Well, he was a top 10 pick. He might have slid out of the 2nd round now. It's just crazy. But one thing I said I do love about the NFL is there's almost like, oh, darn near, like almost every month there's always something going on. It gives you a little something. I mean, I said, because, obviously we got December, you got football, January, you got the end of the season, then you got the playoffs, and very beginning of, God, my goodness, we're going to be almost halfway in the frickin', so what, be the 11th, right? February 11th. There's only 28 days in February, so we're almost halfway into February, and we're still playing football. No complaints here. But you know what I'm saying? Then you got 2 weeks after that, you got the combine. And then like a couple of weeks after that, then you got the beginning of the new season. Free agency starts, right? Then the next month you got the draft, right? And after that, then you got like mini camp and then training. Just it's crazy. And then so the only time is like there's like that period of time from like June, whatever it is, 15th or whatever, to like July 20th or something. You got like 4 or 5 weeks there where nothing, nada, right? So that's when it calms down a little bit. Basically, it's like the hurricanes. It's like you're in the eye of the hurricane, right? You're in the calm just before the storm, because when in the eye of the hurricane, there's nothing. It's like a beautiful day. You look up there, you can see the sky and all of that, but all around you, it's just it's a freaking the hurricane going on, So so once that 4 or 5 weeks over with, right? You got like a week or 2 of training camp, preseason game, then like a week and a half or so, whatever, and all starts all over again. So let's not forget, I said, the combine, got that in a couple of weeks. Well, about 3 weeks. 3 weeks, you got the combine, right? And then a couple of weeks after that, free agency. Now, as I said, with the Giants, they're going to have to do some stuff to get rid of, I think, like getting rid of like Lewinsky, quite possibly. They'll save the Giants $4 or $5 million, maybe restructure some contracts, try to save some extra money, whatever like that, But it'd be interesting to see what the Giants do in free agency. I've said it before. I always thought, right, it should be, it never makes sense to me. Never ever makes sense to me. You get the draft. You got your team, right? You got the board with the draft, right? And you draft the best players available, right? You say take these 7 guys, boom, throw them on your team. Okay, then you look at your team. And it's like, okay, all right, well, we got this, we got that. All right, we need we could use some depth on the offensive line. Okay, so we'll make a note of that. We need another wide receiver. We could use a defensive. We can use a cornerback and maybe a safety. Just saying, right? Well, okay, now free agency starts. So now you go out with your grocery list. Now you go into Walmart. You got your grocery list. Okay, we need a wide receiver. Okay, we'll take you from free agency, and we'll get because you can do that in the draft, but you really can't because what they say is you want to take the best player available. What they say, So I mean, it's like after why, you need wide receivers or whatever, and you go out in the free agency and grab some wide receivers or something. Now the draft rolls around, and the best player available just say the Giants go out and get Pittman, right? In free agency, and they go out and get somebody else, right? Like, say they get Evans, right? One of those guys, and then pick 6 rolls around. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s there. Well, it's like we got Slayton, we got Robinson, we got Hyatt. They brought free agent. They brought Hodgins back, right? Somebody else they got back. This, that, and then they went out and they got Evans and Marvin Harrison is there. Okay, we'll get you to now we're gonna have 2 number 1 wide receivers. It's like, right? I mean, it's like, you take the best player available. How's that? I mean, hey, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s there. You're going to pass on him? Now you're going to have 2 number 1 wide receivers? It's like you got so many other holes to fill. Why are you taking another, doesn't make any sense. I mean, so if I'd rather have the draft first. So if Harrison Jr. falls to, heck yeah, we're taking him, baby. All right. So then you go after that, then you go into free agency. We don't need a number 1 wide receiver. We just got one in the draft. It never makes sense to me. I wish it was always like a little bit backwards, but it's nice to see the Giants did a little bit of blocking on their own. And then there was no shocker here, especially with his injuries, right? Trade market for Daniel Jones is non-existent. Wow. Well, see, also, too, I mean, the biggest thing here is, let's not forget, is, the contract he's under. I mean, his injuries, injury history, the contract he's under. It's that's not a recipe for success there. I mean, that's not I mean, he's coming back. He may not even be ready for the beginning of the season fully. So you expect somebody to trade for him, and his contract is like $40 million a season, and he's had a bunch of injuries and all that. I mean, as I said, I mean, it's bad enough. Oh, I'm trying to move my legs here. My buddy Randy's underneath my legs, and I got to try to move every now and then, but I don't want to kick him. Okay, we're good. We're good. But, the thing is, and you feel bad for these guys. They're putting their lives basically on the line. I mean, the one thing is, the ACL. I mean, that can certainly slow him down without question, hurt the RPO, right? Because you could see what a weapon he was in 2022 when he stayed healthy and all that, right? I mean, you always kind of maybe hoping he didn't run as much as he did in 2022, but you can see how effective he was, right? So, I mean, so that might take a little bit of a hit this season because especially he's coming back from his the knee injury. But, I mean, you just look at it, it's like, man, that neck, I mean, is he one hit away from his career being over? Quite possible. The Giants general manager Joe Schoen remains publicly committed to Daniel Jones following a down year that ended in multiple injuries. Jones, who signed a 4-year, $160 million deal last offseason, will now spend the next several months recovering from a serious neck injury and rehabilitating a surgically repaired knee. Schoen hopes Jones can return for the starting of training camp, but he may miss some games to start the 2024 regular season. Realizing that, the GM intends to address the quarterback room this offseason, and that could include using the number 6 overall pick in the NFL draft on the position. One option the Giants do have, reports SNY's Connor Hughes, is trading Jones. There's an epidemic in the NFL centered around young quarterbacks playing immediately. The Giants don't have to fall victim to that. Selecting a quarterback in the first round does not mean Schoen then trades Jones. Granted, Jones would have little to no market, sources told SNY, because of his injury history and his contract. In other news, the sky is blue, grass is green, and the water is wet. Okay, thanks. Jones is on the books with a cap number of $47.1 million next season. Factoring in DJ's multiple neck injuries and the ACL tear, it's clear why no team would be willing to take him on. A trade also wouldn't benefit the Giants to any great degree because he's got some dead cap money. If they dealt him before June 1st, they'd be left with a dead cap hit of over $33.3 million while clearing just $13.79 million in cap room. A post-June 1st trade would leave the Giants with a dead cap of $23.1 million in 2024 and a dead cap of $22.2 million in 2025. The Giants have an out after the 2024 season if they want to, but until then, they're stuck with Jones whether they like it or not. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but it is. It's the combination. It's the contract and the injuries. And as I said, you don't even know. It's not like, we'll trade you Daniel Jones. Okay, you give us whatever in return, whatever we're going to get for him. He'll be ready to go. Training camp, yeah, ready to go. Week 1, he's good to go. If you want him to start, he starts. If you want him on the sideline, hey, that's up to you. You don't know. You have no idea. I mean, of course, he's ready to go right now, but physically, can he? Week 1 in September, is he going to be ready to go? I mean, he'll be ready to go up here. He'll know the plays, all this and everything, but physically, can he go? You don't know. As I said, and it's not only so much that it's the contract, but it's also the the injury history. As I said, that the neck. I mean, he could be one hit away from his career being over. You never want to. That thing that runs up and down the middle of your back. You don't want to mess with that. And unfortunately, that's what's been happening with him. So, all right. But then the Giants, then we got Joe Schoen will be patient with the defensive coordinator search. Now, I mean, it's okay. Being patient is one thing, but hopefully we can get something done maybe before the draft. They did interview another guy. Okay. I'm going to read that in just a minute. But it's also kind of being interesting to see, guys are going here and going there. Defensive coordinators are getting snapped up, this, that, and blah, 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 blah. And saying, we're going to be patient. We're going to take our time. Well, who are you waiting for? Jesus Christ, the guy? Which kind of makes me think maybe, possibly, I don't know. I'm just taking a winger out here, right? That maybe he's waiting for maybe the Super Bowl to get done with. Maybe. I'm going to read that too. So that's a possibility, right? Maybe comes down to, they're waiting for maybe the Super Bowl to get done with, and then maybe if worse comes to worse, Jerome Henderson, right? Joe Schoen said they were going to be patient in their defensive search. Giants Nation has been eagerly awaiting word from East Rutherford concerning the identity of the team's new defensive coordinator, but despite a flow of 7 names to filter out from various reports, there has been nothing announced as far as how head coach Brian Daboll plans to replace Wink Martindale. Why? Because now that's all the NFL coaching vacancies are filled. Some believe the Giants will be forced to settle for a candidate that maybe otherwise wouldn't have received serious consideration earlier. But at the same time, others are concerned that the Shrine and Senior Bowl games being in the books, the Giants' scouting work at those events were more generic than specific because they don't have their defensive coordinator. Their guy, he's not locked in on, the defensive coordinator. Okay, I know what we got on the team, okay, and I know what, for my scheme, I know what I'm looking for to add. That would be helpful. It's a generic, specific, giving that they don't have the direction from a defensive coordinator regarding what he wants. It turns out that the Giants fans not need worry about the scouting part of things, at least as far as General Manager Joe Schoen is concerned. Schoen, who last week at the Senior Bowl told Alex Marvez and Bill Polian of Sirius XM NFL Radio that the team hoped to wrap up the defensive coordinator search by the end of the week. Well, that hasn't happened, which has since come and gone. Added that if the process takes a little bit longer, the team was going to be patient. He said, ideally, we'd like to have it done by the end of the week. But if we don't, again, we're going to take our time and, continue to find the best, person for the job, he said. Well, okay. I mean, it's the one thing. It's like you kind of think it's like, are we going to be settling? I mean, because all the defensive coordinator positions are taken and all that, and the Giants are like, okay, well, all right, we'll have to tell who we settling on, But the Giants did interview somebody. They interviewed Vikings assistant coach for the defensive coordinator. Durante Jones is a candidate for the DC job with the Giants. Giants have interviewed Vikings defensive backs coach Durante Jones for the defensive coordinator opening. The interview happened this week at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, where Jones was serving as a defensive coordinator for one of the two teams of draft prospects. Jones is an ascending coach who seems destined to be an NFL coordinator sooner or later, even if it doesn't happen this year. The 45-year-old has been with the Vikings for 3 of his last 4 years, across 2 different regimes. He was hired by Mike Zimmer as the defensive back coach in 2020, then spent a year at LSU as the LSU's defensive coordinator before returning back to Minnesota and joining Kevin O'Connell's staff in 2022. This past season, he has been the defensive pass game coordinator, added to his title while serving as one of Brian Flores' top assistants. You can also look at it too. It's like, he was with the team in, 2022. And I mean, their defense was pathetic. I mean, Jones sliced and diced them like killed them. I mean, we moved up and down the field in both games against them. I mean, that was their weakness, 2022. I mean, I could probably complete passes on him. So it kind of makes you think a little bit. But prior to joining the Vikings, Jones had stints with the Bengals, Dolphins, and a host of teams at the college, CFL, and high school levels. The Maryland native played at Temple and Morgan State in the late 1990s. The Giants have cast a wide net in their search for a coordinator to replace Wink Martindale after the two sides parted ways following the season. They finished 21st in defensive and 27th in total yards allowed during a disappointing 6-11 season. Let's see. It says the Vikings will be hoping to get Jones back in 2024. He would have been an eternal candidate for their own defensive coordinator job if Flores had been hired as a head coach elsewhere, but that didn't happen. So, but I said, it kind of makes me think. I mean, just throwing this out there, is that, Shane's like, yeah, we're going to be patient. We don't want to, I mean, so there's a couple, there's 2 teams still out there, still playing, and they're going to be playing next Sunday for the Super Bowl, the championship of the world, right? And any coach on those teams, you're going to have to hold your water and wait for the game to get over with before they'll be available to be hired, right? Now, since we're not getting Spagnuolo from the Chiefs, why not get one of his disciples, right? Now, but, this guy here, guy's a winner. Guy has, he has this hand full of Super Bowl rings. I think if he wins here with the Chiefs, he's going to start another hand with rings. So, Giants interviewed Chiefs Brendan Daly for the defensive coordinator job, but this was not recently. But so the Giants have interviewed Kansas City Chiefs linebacker coach Brendan Daly for their vacant defensive coordinator position. I mean, this happened, about a week or so ago. He's our linebacker coach. Daly has been part of 5 Super Bowl championships with the Patriots and the Chiefs. So the guy, basically, has been a winner. The Patriots and then the Chiefs. He has 5 Super Bowl rings. The Chiefs this year were second in points allowed. I mean, you don't think that I was talking about this. It was last night or the day. I mean, you never think defense and the Chiefs. It's like oil and water. So the only time I ever thought defense in the Chiefs was 1969. The Chiefs, their defense back then. I mean, yes, when they were in the AFL, they beat the Vikings in Super Bowl 4, 23-7. I mean, their defense was. I mean, their defense. They gave up 6 points to the Jets. They played 3 playoff games. The first round they played the Jets. They beat the Jets 13-6 at Chase Stadium. They gave up 2 field goals to the defending Super Bowl champion Jets in Joe Namath. They gave up 2 field goals. The following week they beat the Raiders 17-7, and I think the Raiders that year lost 1 game, so they gave up 7 points. Then they went to the Super Bowl. The Vikings that year were 12-2. The Vikings in 1969, first game of the season, they lost to the Giants, Yankee Stadium. Alex Webster's first ever game as a head coach. They lost to the Giants 24-23. Then the Vikings won 12 games in a row, and then they lost the last game, a meaningless game, last game of the season, to the Falcons. But in the meantime, the Vikings won 12 games in a row. The Vikings were 12-2. Very, very good team. The Vikings got to the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs gave up 7 points. So the Chiefs, 3 games, gave up 20 points. I mean, the 1969 Chiefs. Well, we're going back a couple of years here, of course. But you never think Chiefs and defense, or dominating, very good defense, But they gave up. What was it here? Oh, here we go. Was it 16.7? 16.8. They gave up 16.8 points per game. They gave up 15.7 points at home, 17.6 points on the road. The last 3 games, they gave up 13.7 points per game. They gave up 22.2 in 22. So they've gone down what would that be, 5.5 points a game? I mean, you can honestly say if it wasn't for the Chiefs' defense this season, they're not in the Super Bowl, right? Because their offense was, it was good, wasn't super spectacular, wasn't very Chief-esque as we've come to know and love over the past few seasons. I mean, their defense has really, really done good, and Daly's done very good with he doesn't have super spectacular talent that he's coaching, and he's done very, very good. But he's been winning systems. He's been, wherever he's gone, he's been associated with a winner for the most part. Oh, what we had here. Daly is 48, began his NFL coaching career with the Vikings, right, in 2006, and has gone to work for the Rams, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. Daly's been a part of 5 Super Bowl championship teams, 3 in New England and 2 in Kansas City. So 5 championship teams. And now he's going for his 6th. If they win, he'll have 6 Super Bowl rings. Daly's very familiar with the Giants' current coaching staff, too. He worked alongside current coach, Giants head coach Brian Daboll in New England, and with the Giants' offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, in Kansas City. Familiarity. Daly served as a defensive line coach with the Rams, Vikings, and Pats before joining the Chiefs in 2019, where he also served as a defensive line coach and run game coordinator before taking the linebackers coach role in 2022. Prior to his stint in the NFL, Daly was a college coach for 8 years. Yeah. So, I mean, wherever he's been, especially, obviously, with the Chiefs and with he's been under, 2 of the greatest coaches of all time, Belichick and Andy Reid. I mean, you got 2 of the cream of the crop there. I mean, as far as all-time wins, I mean, Reid's up there. If he coaches for another, if he coaches for another 5-6 years or so, 7 years, he might wind up having the all-time record, maybe. But I mean, he's been a winner wherever he's gone. So, and I said he's done this year, especially under Spagnuolo, who's the defensive coordinator. But he's learned under what Spags has done. So he's younger than Spags. He's learned. He's been under Spags' tutelage, right? And so he can possibly come here and bring that here with the Giants, but also he's got some familiarity there. So this quite possibly might be a reason why, right? Why the Giants maybe, they'll take a time, right? because they can't hire this guy if they have any inklings for him, right? They can't hire him until following Monday, right? So basically about a week away. That might be one of the reasons why the Giants are like lagging behind as far as bringing in a defense coordinator while all these other teams fill all their roles. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, it's been 55 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you as always. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of the heart means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!